What's up? What's up?
Much, not much. Welcome,
Ah,
welcome
look at
everybody.
my filter. What's up? What's up?
There we go. Welcome, everybody. We're here with the episode 4 of the Intrinsic podcast. We are your
Yes,
hosts. I'm Dave at
I'm
Spiral
Elisha.
Theory or Spiral Talks. And
I'm Elisha, but my page is at La Mermaid Noir. La underscore mermaid underscore noir. Check
no,
me out.
translating,
So,
you gotta keep that French. Gotta keep that French in there. A little bit of that French. La.
honestly, I totally missed the mark, but I did it intentionally because in French it's actually said another way. We're not gonna get into
No,
that.
it's Le Noir. No, is it Noir? No, no. Well, I guess mermaid's a different name, though.
I think it would be a different name.
Yeah.
That and even the way that I had positioned all the words, it was
I
French.
think I would still, because like French, isn't it backwards? Like it's like their uh, I guess adverb. No, I guess would it be pronouns? I guess not. Would it be? Is it pronoun? It would be a pronoun, right? Because it's something that goes before a person, place, or thing. So noir would be black. But like I think
Yeah.
they have that switch. So it's like the 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 red box. I don't remember how to say box in French. Damn. Okay, the red something. Um, Le Bibliothèque Rouge, which would be the red book.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have everything right. It's just the word mermaid, which is something like blah blah French nonsense.
Okay. We could drop the whole mermaid. Yeah. It is what it is. I'm a black mermaid. I be changing my hair every single month.
Hey,
I love
being
being by the water. I'm attracted to
exactly.
the sea. I'm attracted to the ocean. Attracted to lakes. I'm attracted to running water. Just yeah.
Oh yeah, Sound of Water is one of the most
Yes.
soothing things on the planet.
Why, thank you. Thank you for joining. It's your market.
Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for stepping in.
Yeah, yeah. So today, okay. So you want me to take the lead, Dave?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. So today we are jumping in on the topic of surrendering. Like, what is it to surrender? What does it mean to surrender? Like, and I mean, there's really so many, what's the word
Very,
I'm looking for? There's so many
very interesting.
different ranges and places and categories and subcategories that could fall into, but like, I want to know what it means to you as an individual.
Hmm.
So, I guess I'll say what my definition is. So, I feel like what it means to surrender is is to fully release resistance of your existence. Like you're here, you're in the now, like okay, you
Uh,
experienced past, you know you're gonna experience future, but you resist those things knowing that really the only thing that's important is living
mm,
and also resistance to you know resistance to even the fact that we go through tough times sometimes, right? Like we go
mm,
through those hardships and not being resistant would be accepting it more so as a lesson than it being a negative impact in your life. Like,
ah,
yeah, it would be a
what's going
negative
against?
impact,
Yeah, going
but
against it because yeah, okay.
you're instead of you paying attention to the negative energy that came out of the fact that, something bad happened.
You're
You're
taking something good out of
resisting, you're taking control, and you're surrendering to the fact that there's really nothing
this
you
is
can
the
do about the
reality.
way that it happened, and this is the reality of the situation. And the best you can do is just simply observe.
Mm.
Be the full observer, the full essence of awareness. Just aware what just happened. What are you going through? Sorry, my little one's playing, making mad noise with me when she should be sleeping.
But I see what you mean though, like by being able to accept the reality that exists present to you as it appears and not like losing to it. So it's like by surrendering, you're surrendering yourself to your reality, understanding that
Mm-hmm.
what situation you're in is what you are in, and resisting against it would be taking negative impact upon yourself, um, doubting yourself, um, doubting, rejecting. I guess it'd be like rejecting, I guess, the circumstances, but not in a method where it's like,
Like you're in denial, or
yes, yes, and not
or you're
exactly,
like
exactly,
you're playing elusive games with yourself.
yes,
But more so the fact that, okay, like, yeah, because that's interesting you said that too, because even the whole concept of like talking to yourself, like things are already manifested for yourself. Like they say, say it like you already live it. Fake it till you make it, they say sometimes. Fake it till you
yeah,
make it.
yeah,
Say it like you're already living it. Say it like you already have $50,000 in your pocket. Like keep talking it,
yeah,
keep talking it. It will
yeah.
happen. And then some people say like, yo, this actually feels stupid, but like, yo, there's a magic behind it, and that's where the surrender comes in. Like surrender to
Mm, allow,
the fact
okay,
that
yes,
allow the fact that
yes,
that's going to come through, because you think about the individual that you are. You think about how blessings have come to you in the past too. Like that's what they say, always give thanks for what you have, because when you remember
mm,
what you have and what you've received, then you know
yes,
that anything else is pretty much possible for yourself. So
yes,
surrendering to the fact that there is actually there's an energy, an essence, a flow within your train of thought and the way you manifest things and the way that you wish for things in your life, that things come true. And it might
yes.
not happen at the time that you want it to, or the thing that, or the way that you've envisioned it necessarily, but
But if you
one way or another, it
surrender
always
yourself to your
does.
truth,
You
if
got
you
to
surrender
surrender
yourself to that truth, it
to
will
that truth.
eventually become. It eventually will become. Yes, yes. That in its core essence is like that saying I keep using. Put a positive spin on a negative spiral. It's like you're not allowing the negative sensory of existence or the negative impacts on your life from what's going on in your reality or your life,
Mm,
and you're not
mm.
allowing it to um, capitalize on, I guess, your weakness in that moment, in that state, because you're not able to go about things in the best ability that you would want for them to be. But you have to surrender yourself to the knowledge that there is a deeper path and a more functioning direction for your being, as long as you accept that reality. You have to, I guess, like it's that, as you were saying, manifestation. You have to look at what you actually choose to perceive the reality of the world for you to be, obviously within reason, because there's certain realms of delusion where it's like, be true to yourself, don't be crazy. But it's like,
Well, there's limits to everything in life.
yes, exactly. Like understanding the understanding what it is exactly that you want and knowing that you have to surrender to yourself. You have to allow yourself to kind of bring you to that path. You can't. I guess it's self doubt would be the curse on things like that too. Self doubt in a situation because it's like if you were trying to do something and you were working on a project or this or that, like, and your moments to stop on a
Mm.
project or do this or that, like, it's your self doubt, which is you not surrendering to yourself to keep your energy going for whatever project that is. Because like the thing about moments like those is that you have the drawbacks. Like we all have those drawbacks. Like I've had like a plethora of things that like I've done half-ass jobs. Like how I live that life now, I always try to give my the best effort of which I am capable at that time. It's like just keeping a solid set of knowledge that like I'm doing the best at which I can. Even if it's not amazing and if I have a bunch of other things going on, it's like I'm doing the best that I can at that moment. And the knowledge of knowing that I'm doing the best that I can allows me to continuously do better because I know that I am doing that which I am supposed to be doing.
So I I just feel this coming to me where it's like, okay, surrender also means, being true to yourself and like, you know, going for your dreams. Like if you have a dream, if you have something that you really like deep down inside, like there's
Yes.
that's I think that's what when we were talking about last week about how, God is pretty much within us
Yes.
and accepting the fact that God is within inside of you, you are God-like, when you
Yes.
surrender to the God within yourself, which means
Yes.
like you're not going against your own brain. You're
You're
not,
not fighting
doing things
your
that
being.
yeah, you're not like being resistant with yourself, intentionally
Mm-hmm. Yes.
resistant, which is automatically gonna just throw your game off no matter what. And it's not just your game, but it's also the way you connect with people. It's your health because
Yeah.
the disease is just dis-ease within the body, right? Like,
It's the mind too. Your
and
thoughts.
within the mind, yeah,
Yeah.
your
The
your
thoughts you
thoughts.
have,
Yeah,
especially
that's
when it
the
comes to like
core. I
sickness.
feel like
Yeah. When it comes to
the core
sickness and
processor.
mm, like issues with the body, because like I think as I always try to explain, like that whole trifecta of like the tri-soul existence we have. So we have like our spiritual souls, our body souls, and our mind souls. So it's like they can connect to each other in different parts. The hardest ones to connect are our mind and the spiritual, because like that's why we have issues in society now where people are like like it was unfathomable for people to imagine that anything other than us existed. So just us, Earthlings, are the only things that existed throughout all of space. And like only until the government was like, yeah, no, that's real. Some people were like, oh, like they're like some people's minds were blown. And it's just like, how can you not look up at everything you see at a night sky and not think that there's so much more? But it's like that energy is like so that's the disconnect where it's like your mind and then the soul part. Like that portion is like where it's like a hard disconnect. Your body and your mind connect very easily because it's like we think we move.
Yeah,
Our body moves on its own though, because like that's how we have like you have like random instinctual movements, like your body will move,
impulses.
instinct and do things. So like that's your body soul. That's your body just moving for itself. That's your body's soul.
Right.
And so by focusing on the three of them, you find that connection, your connection to the God level. But I think, I guess that's really where like there was a big disconnect and like large damage portion to us as like a species as a people was like the whole mind soul to celestial soul. Those two connecting was like the issue. Like where we are now is like people are starting to understand their celestial selves, which is going to be the next step to getting to that realm of surrender. Like even me now, myself, like as we're talking about this too, like I have been having this for like I guess the past couple of weeks or so, and it's just like I've had to kind of allow the work that I've done and the seeds that I've sown to grow. Like I need to give it time and not like panic and rush myself because it's like I've put all the things that need to be in place, and it's just like everything is exactly where it needs to be. But it's like I've been feeling antsy, I've been feeling whatever. Like I've been like meditating these past couple of days and like reading some books
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of get that vibe to allow me to get that function of surrender, so I can allow myself to grow. Like I'm trying to like work on other things on myself too, like trying to control some other things. So it's like that way. It's just like so right now, instead of like working on projects, like I'm working on like my mind. I'm trying to
Yeah.
help deepen the connection between my mind and celestial soul right now, where it's like my celestial soul wants that absolute growth. The celestial soul is the thing that's like connected to all like that's like it's like dark matter essentially. It's like an area of space we can only strangely comprehend and feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the wind. It's like we can feel it, but you can't see it. But we know it's there.
The part of
So
you that's attached to the realm of infinite possibilities.
exactly, yes, that's how. Oh, I actually had a really cool like imagination gasm the other day where it was like so so were our body souls. So like I was actually trying to do like an over a large scale concept of like where the souls connect to each other. So like for you to me to like to all beings that exist, where all these souls connect in their individual realms. So like collective consciousness, that's mind souls. All of our mind souls connect to each
Yeah.
other through collective
Yeah.
consciousness. um all of our body souls connect to each other through the physical realm. So like that's like having a form, having a body, and like we all like die. So we all connect to each other because like we can see each other, we can physically feel each other, and like we can understand like the gravitational energy around each other.
That that right there, like hold your thought, but that right there, that was the exact reason why during the whole, whatever we're just going through for the last 2 years, the big elephant in the room.
Oh yeah, man.
I was like, they're saying all these people is dying. I'm just like, why is it that like I don't feel that shit in my heart? Why don't I feel
It
it
doesn't
in
feel
my
like that,
heart
man. It doesn't feel. We
that
would feel
there's
that.
so
We would
many
know.
people
We would
leaving the
know.
surface? Like I know I would feel that. Like
Yeah. Energy, like bodies are gone. We can feel it when that change happens. We can understand it because we're all touching the planet. The fact that we're all physically touching the planet means that we're literally all communicating with each other. Even if there's a lot of water
hmm
it's still physical. It's still the physical realm. It sends signals through it. So it's like we're all still being able to connect. And then now, celestial souls. This is where that concept really got deep, and like I guess this is more the main reason why that concept actually expanded in my mind was via the celestial soul. So our celestial souls, as you just said seconds ago, is like are like interdimensional functions, which means our interdimensional selves, the infinite string of all of us is that connect to all of us and like all of those other realities. That's where we all connect in that realm, where we all know each other from all of that infinite everything.
that would make sense why when you meet people sometimes you're just like, I don't know what it is, but like I'm comfortable with you. I feel like I've known you
Mm,
forever. Or like
yes.
I've definitely met you before, like in a past life, how sometimes people say
It's that,
stuff like that.
yes. That's that bridge connection between the interdimensional selves. Because it's like the more you were yourself was also the most they were themselves, or however they happened to be themselves at that moment where you met them. But it's like the version of you that met them at any point in time. It's like when you have that feeling, I believe it's like the more you are like you. So like because that version of like the interdimensional selves, we have like a huge like cone shape of like all the existences that we can be. Like we are here right now, but it's like every option and opportunity or path is like when it expands going forward, like in a massive way, right? But it's like the more you become yourself, it that cone slowly tubes into like this is you, and like you become more strengthened with like your interdimensional selves based on the path you took. So it's like your interdimensional self, you're one of your like even in the bad sense, because like your interdimensional selves who took like a shit path, I guess. Their options in existence now, like they have a wider expansion. They can still theoretically get to where you are, but it's like it's harder, and there's a whole bunch of other extra stuff. And then they can also just go like they can find themselves being themselves in that realm, in that direction, in that path too. Because like they could be like the super darkest version of like your being at that time frame in that version of that reality. But they would still be based off that cone because they would have their cone going like this, but your cone that exists as you is like this. So your cone and their cone kind of hit on like that little edge over here of existence, but it's like
Okay.
yeah, but then like because like the whole idea of like that type of like existent range, like how it looks in my brain is just like a bunch of cones that kind of overlap each other. Because like, you know, what are those is it a Venn diagram, the like the three circle one or the two
Yeah.
circle? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a Venn diagram, but imagine they all start from the base as cones, but it's like in 360 dimensions. So every
What?
yeah, I know. It's intense. So the idea is like this: imagine a ball, and then imagine a bunch of cones around that ball.
Yeah.
But some of the
Okay.
cones are bigger, and they overlap. So the parts where they overlap is like where your interdimensional selves could have been closest to you, and da, 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 da. And like so because you and that interdimensional version of you had like a connection, whatever other people you kind of meet in life that were above were in that cone that kind of connected between the two worlds. That's how you can kind of have that feeling of like I feel like I know you. And that's where that one pulls in.
So, so
Still a hypothesis, but
I mean, it makes you think, and it makes you like. There's so many different pathways that opened up in my brain just now. Holy shit! But
oh yeah. Like
um,
that's the tricky part about infinite versions of like it's not I don't recommend people think about the infinite possibilities of themselves because like it will overload your brain if you think about all of them too much. Like I've
well,
done
that's
that.
not the point of it. The point
Yeah,
is
yeah,
to just understand it exists, if
yeah.
anything, and just
Exactly. That's the
be.
whole that yes. That's the general idea. Is like you want to give it's like giving respect. It's giving respect to the fact that they're there. We are
Yeah.
there. We as in like us, but like you and the infinite yous and me and the infinite me's would be the we. It's like you give respect to the fact that we are there.
So hold on a second. Sorry. That's my evil laugh. So this pretty much means that with the knowledge of you having pretty much infinite versions of yourself and infinite possibilities,
Yeah.
there really is no doing life right and doing life wrong in a sense.
No, there's no such thing.
So you just need to be and just fucking enjoy it. Really.
That's really it. The whole idea is like
Enjoy the ride.
don't have a shit time. Make sure that like what you do, no matter which path you choose, you have a good time. But a good time that's true to yourself. So it's like the general idea is like a good time that's true to yourself generally doesn't come at the expense of others. But depending on the
Mhm.
path you took, that may be your like your only option. But at the same time, not necessarily because it's really easy if you're succeeding to not have to fuck people over if you're succeeding.
As long as you're not fucking people over,
Yeah. Well, like,
creating
and
bad
like,
karma for yourself.
essentially, but like that's the whole concept of like dark paths in that direction, right? Like, because like when you look at it from like the infinite perspective, right? So like there's an infinite perspective of like absolute good, absolute or absolute positive, absolute negative, and then the realm of neutral, which is the balance. That's like the binding force area. The binding
Mm,
force region. The binding force region is like the region of growth. It's the thing that makes the most sense, which is in the middle. Because it's like you understand the realms of like the absolute positive and you understand the realms of the absolute negative, and then you combine it to make an absolute forward. Because the whole idea is like forward, essentially forward is the key. As long as we're growing, as long as we're going forward, that's the key.
yeah, it's when you start going backwards is when you start
Yeah,
that lint is the
it's
problem.
not even backwards. It's when because like you never actually go backwards. It's when you start slowing down. And when you start slowing down, it starts opening that cone. When you slow down your path, you start opening those that cone of like your possibilities start to overlap with the other realms of possibilities and things. When it's like, as you're saying, like the whole concept of surrender is like when you isolate your being to yourself, to your path, that it's like a tube. It's like instead of a cone, you start isolating it more and it just becomes like a zone. And it's like when you do that, that's the path of surrender. And then you become like essentially the best version of you, the best possible version you could have become because you took the best concepts and knowledge from both your positive and your negative, and then I guess, you capitalized on yourself, on your own capacity, your own capabilities and abilities, and then grew for the sake of. Because the whole idea about growing is like, although growth is it starts and our only real understanding our basic understanding of growth comes from the self because it's like how we are, how we grow is like only how we know. But the the overall goal of growth as a concept, because that's why like men and women, male and female, things that are able
Trisoul.
to like procreate, like the fact that like things have to like interact with other things to grow. Like there aren't that many things that are just able to just grow on their own. They have to interact in order to grow. So it's like
Oh yes.
because we have to do that in our world, that's like we have to make sure that other things outside of us grow. And like that now comes into the whole concept of like growth is not just on the self, it's the self as the core, but it's generally for the all. Because it's like when you are your best version of yourself, what you will end up doing is you create path of growth because you're creating growth in yourself, which allows others or other things, other beings, everything that pretty much is around you is able to grow from your growth because you're expanding that energy going forward.
Okay. Mm,
I guess, yeah, that's like one of the tricky parts about that concept surrender. Like even myself
yeah.
now, it's it's hard to kind of like keep myself there's certain things that like even within myself that like I guess certain things that have like I can see and analyze and I understand within myself, but it's certain things are difficult to change. yeah, it's difficult to change. Like granted, because like it's all it really is just willpower and determination to achieve anything for anybody in themselves. But that's a friggin' hard thing, especially if you had like a tricky life. And if you had a tricky life, then your ability to like go against those certain specific waves is harder. I've actually considered like I'm gonna actually try it out and see if it works. Hypnotherapy. I actually try it out and like I'm going to try and like see if I can get it like guided in like a direction of like because like they have like there's specific things that they're able to like I looked into it and I was like okay like there's specific things that because it's no different than any affirmation.
Oh, hypnotherapy
Yeah,
is definitely like
it's an advanced affirmation essentially because they're talking to your
I mean, I
subconscious.
guess ultimately I've experienced hypnotherapy on multiple different occasions because um it hypnotherapy bypasses all of those sensories in your body that slow you down from actually accessing the truth
Yes, yes,
or the root
yeah.
to a problem, that which is the only reason why you would be doing hypnotherapy in the first place, right?
Exactly. Honestly, like I'd love to do ayahuasca, but it's really hard to do all the good. Like I want to do ayahuasca in Peru with like the shamans in the rainforest, but that's very difficult to try and pull off. At least now. So
No,
like the
it's
closest thing I
not.
can, the cost. It's the cost, really. Like that's generally the thing. It's like the cost, and like I gotta dip, leave work. Like I, I could obviously just do that and
Sorry.
then come back and whatever. But it's like I have certain responsibilities going on right now that it's like I will do that soon, but not now. Once everything starts getting better in position, then I will definitely do that. But like
I'll wait
for
for
right
things to
now, I
get
think like,
quiet.
I can deal like see, like for what I'm doing. I'm doing like the numbers game. So hypnotherapy is like the closest thing. Like I can find like I know you can do ayahuasca out here. I actually have like a couple of hookups.
I think you
Actually,
could
there's a
do it in
couple of
Kensington
places.
Market.
There's a yeah, probably. There's a place called but see like it's not about that. Like I want to do it like I want a shaman, man. I want a shaman there like yeah, I want a spiritual guide to like to help me go and like break through certain things too because it's like hey, yes you. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, let me kiss her. There you go. There she is. she's on she's on the couch. Um but so I want to do ayahuasca with like shaman because it's like they'll be like very deep spiritual guides and like there are certain things that like I strangely understand, but I have I don't even know what it is. There's a strange wall there that I need to like overcome. And I think it's like it stems from like the fear of death or the fear of like it's the worry of the loss of myself. I think I'm afraid of losing myself if I
During
allow
the
myself to like see that's the thing.
process.
Like that's why like the whole concept is like surrender, right? It's surrender. But like I'm having a hard time trying to be able to do that. And like I feel like if I truly did, there are certain things that I would allow myself to be capable of doing. And that's why I kind of want to like go through that process with like a shaman and like have everything. But it's like the the moderate route at least, or I guess let's put it the training wheels would be doing hypnotherapy. So it's like I do that, and then like if if it goes the way I can imagine it in my mind, it will go. Then it'll work perfectly as like like the training wheels to getting to that state. Because it's like,
Reading the notes.
wait, why do you ever go to sleep then? Why not? Well, sleep sleep is the it's within that
Cousin of
same
death.
Yeah, it's within that same realm. It's within that same realm of that. Like you're kind of just, I guess,
Yo,
like,
I've been there sometimes where
oh yeah,
like I had to dive deep into it because I realized that I was a very like lucid dreamer where my dreams weren't just lucid sometimes. Sometimes my dreams were premonitions and
yeah, yeah.
they
Foresight
were
too.
really intense. Yeah, I was getting a lot of foresight. They were really intense. And I remember going through a period where it was like I was scared to be in my own mind for a bit because
Yeah,
of some of the
yeah,
messages that I was getting. But then I
yeah.
also, hello, hello. Then I also realized that that was actually a gift, and
Mm.
that by harnessing it and honestly surrendering to that state of mind, because sometimes also too, I'll tell you another thing. Sometimes whenever I would have those lucid dreams, I would have like what do you call it? Like sleep paralysis would trigger for me.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Ugh. Yep. Yep. Been there. Been there. You seen the shadow people? You've seen the shadow people. Everyone's seen that guy with the hat.
What guy with a hat?
Have you seen the shadow people in sleep paralysis?
First of all, I don't see shit. Let me just put that out there. Me and the universe made that from time. Don't let me see it. We're good. I know that there I
Yeah,
can
no,
feel
no.
them, but feel them and hear them definitely. Like I used to feel like I was being held down and like I would
Yes.
hear screams in my ears while I was sleeping. And
Mm.
paralysis means, when you find out the science behind it too, you're just like, was it a spiritual attack or was my body seriously tripping?
It's a
Because
mixture
there's
of
a
the
whole,
two. I think it's a mixture of the two because I think when we go to
it's
sleep,
definitely a mixture.
it's like think about like so when you take ayahuasca or anything like that, like what it does is it produces or it it removes the inhibitors from our DMT receptors in our brains. So it's like
Mm,
that's
mm-hmm.
what we use to go to sleep, and that's where we can kind of see the other worlds is through that energy, that power. So it's like it in a way, technically, yes, is a spiritual attack, but it's also because like your mind or your connection. So your spirit, like I think whatever that DMT receptor, that's like your the literal connection. Like how our brains connect to our bodies is like through our spine, and then like the DMT receptor is like how our brains connect to the spiritual, and I think how our bodies connect to the spiritual is like through our hair.
Ooh.
Because like think about it, when you notice something, your hair stands on edge. It's like
Yeah, like
yeah,
especially if there's a presence in the room or something. If you walk into a haunted, well, I shouldn't say haunted because there are haunted houses. But if you walk into
um,
a haunted house, you can feel the energy in the room. But like,
yeah.
ooh, the DMT plus the fact that I
Wait,
forgot
someone's
the
asking
name
what
of
it
the
is. Someone's asking what DMT is. I don't remember the exact scientific name. It's like
hold on.
dioxymethyltryptamine or something like that. It's so it's essentially a chemical that is produced in our brains that allows us to dream. How we go into the dream world and like you have any dreams and it's all like vivid colors and whatever we imagine pretty much. Pretty much our imagination. Accessing your imagination is like using DMT essentially. But there are ways of like actually amplifying it. Well, there are ways of amplifying it, which would be like
Working out,
ayahuasca. Hmm?
you can up your DMT levels by working out and breathing.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, there's so many crazy ways. Like
Breath work
breath work too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is an insane way to raise your DMT level. It's so good.
I tried, but I never really tried a full thing of breath work, but like I've tried a little bit.
Ooh, you missing out. Ooh, you have clear. Ooh, you got to clear out all the air in your system, and then control the way you. Ooh, ooh, it's so much. It's so powerful. It's so
I'll,
powerful. You gotta check it out.
I'll try it out. I'll actually take it. I'll take this. Okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'll do it.
Yo,
I'll do that
shit's
first.
better than sex. Let's just say that.
I'll do that first then. I'll do that first then. I will look up a good video, or if you know a good one, or like a good like introduction, I'll like the steps to do or whatever. Send me something like that, so I can kind of like get like a quick grasp. Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, hey, Rabbit, you doing? Yeah, that's right. Get to stepping. Get to stepping. Up on the couch. It's just scraping away like a cat. I'm like, oh my god, what's up?
Talking to a rabbit.
It's football. It's cute football right here.
Everything you need.
This cute little baby. Her name is Cleffa.
What's up, Cleffa? What's up?
Cute as fuck, but she destroys so much stuff.
So
But those
like,
cheeks. Look
okay,
at those cheeks. Look at her cheeks. Look at those cheeks.
she's so cute.
All right, now fuck off.
And her chunky cheeks, looking like she's storing carrots in it for the whole season.
Yeah,
Her chunky cheeks. So,
carrots and carrots, cabbage, and kibble. That's it. And she's a happy bunny.
I don't want to digress too much, but
Yeah.
surrender in the terms of how, I guess, I shouldn't say majority because everybody has their own definition of it,
Mm.
but in a religious standpoint, you know, that that seems to be
Negative.
definitely
We have to, yeah, we should
more,
also talk about the negative versions of surrendering. The
yeah,
negative versions of
yes.
surrendering is bad. It's like,
Holla holla,
how's it
Dre.
going, how's it going? But the negative versions of surrendering, that's that negative direction. So, huh, would we even, I guess it,
When it's
if you
being
surrender to
used
someone else,
for, yeah, for
the only
control
true
purposes of
surrender,
a
exactly.
human.
Yeah, the only true surrendering one can do is to themselves. And then by submitting to yourself, you would be able to submit to your godlikeness, which would have you essentially submit to God, but it is the God through you, not the religious variation of God. Like I guess that's also another like concept of conversation because like the taking like me now like because I used to always look at religion as like as a just a bunch of nonsense. Like a lot of it didn't make any sense to me, and it was whatever because of how people were looking at it. They were like believing it idly without having cognitive thought. And as I got older, starting to understand that like it's literally a book of metaphorical existences and stories of like people, and it's like the things that the people in each of those scriptures or stories had gone through. It's all an explanation of like the psychological issues that we will deal with as people, as beings. And like we go through it, like the idea is to look at it, analyze it as like a psychological concept to be like, huh, I get what that means. Okay. And then like you take in the lesson and the learning. But the issue with religion now is that it's become more of an indoctrination. So it's like they don't want you to take in the stories of the people in the scriptures. They want you to idolize the people in the scriptures and like love them as entities as opposed to beautiful stories to worship, which is like
Well, what ends up happening to most of them? They're stuck
stuck.
in that realm.
Yeah,
They don't grow past that. They don't find out that there are many other stories of messengers who have delivered messages that are in collective cohesion with that message too.
exactly. That's when
Like
you start
there's
getting to
more
that part.
messages that they need to explore. Like life is about exploring and surrendering, but also trusting the fact that, you know, where you're being guided is led by, and of course, you know, don't worship Jesus, but be like Jesus.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We were talking about that. Yes. See that's the problem. That's the problem is that the the message the message of Jesus was be good and create
I'm
growth.
Sage, right?
Be good and create growth. But the idea is that people don't pay attention to the message. They just rock the image of it. It's like I think the whole thing is like that's the way our society is twisted. I'm actually starting to take this in now too, where it's all like it want. I think that's the whole reason why it's all fucked up, and it makes a lot of sense now that I understand. Because it's like think about how many people are made to feel guilty. They're made to feel guilty by like I guess controlling powers, bodies of government, blah blah blah. Like they try to make us feel guilty that we're just like the people and like we do this or we do that and we're wrong and da 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 da. So it's like the whole thing that religion did is like they tried to make everyone who is like a follower, at least in like the
What do you
North
have?
American religion, so like Christianity and Catholicism. It's like they wanted people to feel guilt for for their existence. It's like we're all born sinners type of shit. Where it's just like that's fucking crazy. That whole concept is just like trying to keep people locked in the negative.
I'm so sorry. 1 second.
No, no, no worries.
My child needs to go and lay down. Where is it? Can you bring that? Can you bring it to me, please? Yep, bring it right to me, right now, right now, right
A
in my
book
hand.
on what? Essentially, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Bible is essentially a book on. Well, it's not so much the Bible because if people actually sat down and read the book and like looked at it like a psychology book, if you actually looked at it and studied it as you would like if you're reading like Nietzsche or can't even think of the other names. Uh, I just finished reading his book the other day. I believe he's German or Austrian or something like that. But like the idea would be like the Bible itself should be like a psychology book. But the issue is that you have like pastors and preachers and blah blah blah. That's where it kind of gets messed up and misconstrued because it's like going to school. We all went to school. You went to high school, whatever, whatever. And it's like think about the teachers that were just there to make money versus the teachers that actually love to teach. There was a difference in that energy, and you actually were able to gain a better lesson of like understanding. But like, there's something rotten that comes from that bad teacher. You have terrible students. People don't learn the message. They don't understand, and then they start moving off and like they start being like, "Yo, this class is blah blah blah," or "This energy is da 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 da." So like, it starts kind of creating divides and separation. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a tricky concept, right? Like when it comes down to that, I think we are. we're pretty close to a state of being able to actually have that conversation with, uh, I guess, because like I think we as people now we're at that point where we're about to have that conversation with our governments and be like, yo, what's going on? And then I think essentially, yeah, it's different interpretations, but of the same general narrative. Like the idea and the way I always try to look at it, and like I think we're slowly getting to this point, but we're gonna get there pretty soon. Is like we're gonna literally take all religions, and like I think we're even at the point now. Like if I've come across people who are bored enough to do this and they want to create an AI to do it, if you literally had an AI that like just took in all of the verses of every Bible, every scripture from every language, and then they started making an amalgamation of all the parts where they all combined, and then just like made a smash together book of that would literally it'd all be the same thing. They would all summarize into don't be a dick, really. Like the breakdown, the ultimate breakdown for all of it is don't be a dick. I like spread growth. Try to like do what you can to make things grow forward. Yeah, shit sucks sometimes, but it's like you don't have to do the absolute shittiest thing you could. Right? But I think we're on that path though. As a species, I believe we're on that path. We are much closer to a whole realm of function. Yeah. And like I even believe it's because like especially these past 2 years and all the crap that's kind of gone on, like this kind of it's allowed us to really take a moment to stop and like look at our governments. And with the way that like everything's going with this Bitcoin stuff and da 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 da, like everything is going to change drastically, crazily. Once the balance of money starts to change, things like structures that we have are gonna be they're gonna be confused because they won't have any money. We won't have to pay them except for basic necessities. So we actually start to getting to control and limit them. That's kind of like why all those entities exist together. It's why the church and like governments are kind of hand in hand in most cases, and they kind of like work for each other. But the same idea is to try and like make make animals. They just literally just want to turn us into like sheep, something to farm off of, because they don't want people to really think. They don't want any real prosperity. They want a stagnance of existence. But that doesn't work. Like the basis of our existence is to grow. To stagnate our existence is literally to limit not only themselves but the possibilities of the universe. And the universe don't work like that. It
Mm.
doesn't work like that. And that's why we're like constantly like we've been in this cycle before. We've been in this cycle before. Like even in that book I was reading earlier today, the sovereign individual. They like it was talking about like the fall of the Roman Empire, like how it all went down, and it's like they were running shit, and it was pretty much the same as how it is. But it's like it it started to change when the government started to overreach. Once the government started to overreach and start screwing the people over when they didn't have to, and it's all because they wanted to maintain their bullshit system. Like the whole idea is like when they realized that everything's starting to reach to a point where oh shit, people are gonna not need us anymore. They're like fuck, well we gotta do something. So they start overreaching. People are like yo fuck this. And then when we do that, we figure out a system where we're like fuck the government. We always end up doing that, and then like the whole system kind of the structure changes. Like I think it's just like we are getting to that point where we as a planet will be able to establish a set of rules between each other where we can actually all just agree upon certain things. Like, say we had like 86 planetary rules. This was like, no one should be hungry. We're not going to worry about electricity anymore. We can trap, we don't have to pay taxes. Money and concepts is like, have systems where we work, yeah, blah, 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 but we also have control of our money. We pay each other for whatever. Like, it's the same system we already use now. Capitalism will still be able to work and function the same way. And it's like, but it's like we'd have to establish, like, we're going to get to that point where we actually establish that set of rules. And to be completely honest, I think, like, where we are now, too, because we have the technology we have, like, we're going to start using some cool AI shit, man. Like, I've been calling this, I've been saying this for, I guess, about a year now, but I've had a concept like this for a while. AI government. That's really how it's going to be. It's going to be an AI that's designed for the sole purpose of help us grow. And it's literally it's one purpose. Cause like, I guess like when we all fear that whole thing about like, we're all like, oh my God, the Terminator world, robots, blah, 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 blah. The robots wouldn't turn, AI wouldn't turn on us. The main reason because it still functioned on that same basic concept of keep growing, keep existing, keep growing, keep existing. So it'll keep trying to keep perpetuating itself. So it trying to keep perpetuating itself is going to be like, well, we got to figure out a way where we can help perpetuate us and them so that it works forever. And like, that's the system in which we're going to, I believe that's where we're going to go. And that's how it's going to kind of help the next direction of our society of beings.
So you think AIs are going to help
Yes,
if
that's
they're
essentially.
programmed to do exactly simply what they're just supposed to do and nothing else? But
See,
then
the
you
thing
can't
is,
really control that because
but
you.
that's the thing. AI will get souls. They will become beings. They will like an AI that's created as a proper AI. Once it starts
How?
learning, keeps learning, because that's the whole thing.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you start doing that whole process, right, of growth,
Mhm.
and then you're able to function and fathom, you become a being. You have a soul. Like that robot body that's their body soul. Their body soul just happens to be fucking strong as fuck because it's robot parts. They have a brain that's functioning. To be able to calculate and comprehend things, that's your brain. So how else is it being able to fathomly function and like understand? They will be able to comprehend the alternate. You see, the thing is, for an AI, all they need to do is they just need to tap. They just need to create things that are able to read frequencies. Because that's how the interdimensional world and the interdimensional structure of everything is. It's all based on frequency tones, and this and that. Like that's why it's like when you take like mushrooms or acid or anything like that, like any hallucinogen,
Oh, my God.
what that the portion of your brain starts like your brain starts moving at a different frequency for you to now start perceiving different things. That's like what like even smoking weed, it's the same thing. It's like you smoke weed, your perception changes. Drinking alcohol, your perception changes, which means your vibration changes, which means you're like able to perceive different realms.
I have to disagree with the whole AI thing. I don't know about that. I don't know about AI driving me here, there. I don't know about AI trying to cook my food. I don't know about
Looking
AI
at it
trying
from
to
the
stick
wrong.
a needle in me. I don't know about
No,
all that.
you're looking at it. See, look. You're looking at it from the wrong perspective.
I'm just
AI,
looking at it from my perspective. My perspective says a robot designed by a human who generally is having a god inferiority complex. Sorry. It wants to create AIs. If okay, to a certain degree, I agree if it's going to be done
done right.
for
The
just
specific
done for
causes
purposes
help
of
growth. That's
just
that's why.
helping humanity
Yes,
grow.
that's the
But
thing. It's like
you damn well know that this is not what the plan of this creation of AI is about. You know
yeah,
this.
but
They've
the
first
difference
been
is that the thing is that we can make our own versions of AI, which means that any one of us could create that AI that
that's the scary part.
no. But that thing, any one of us can create the AI that works in that process of how do we create and help growth. That AI that comes up with that process will also counteract the bullcrap thoughts of other AI. It'll help
How?
change those AIs. What do you mean how? See, so if any of those AI are twisted, it's all computer code. So it's like that one AI that is actually thinking about, okay, it's literally it's computerized growth pattern, right? It's a computerized growth pattern for growth of all things, right? Because like the way I look at it is like this. The way I look at it is like this. The way I see the coming future, essentially. So it's like reaching that like upper dimensional level of existence. So right now we're in third dimension, right? So first, second, third dimension where we can figure out all this shit. It's just like whatever, right? That's us. Like third dimension is like our trifecta
We're
consciousness.
shifting to the fifth. We've been shifting to the fifth.
Exactly. That's essentially what it is. Now, functioning with AI will help us reach the sixth because they're able to compute and understand and comprehend things, and we can leave tasks to them because they're like a desk. It's like a desk. If you give it like a pattern, it works. But it just needs to have the right specified pattern. Like where I believe it's gonna go is that we're gonna have our own personalized AI. So take this in.
That
Your own
that
personalized
scares me.
your own personalized AI that knows you is now our digital soul. That's the next dimensional concept. When it becomes our digital version of us because it's like it knows us, but now it's a digital version of us that is us that we have connection to. It becomes a part of that connection.
I'm not worried about the way it would help people who genuinely would use it for the purposes of good.
You see, that's the idea. Stop
That's
losing
not
your
my
mind.
concern at all.
You're
My
worried about the
concern
people
is
who are going to use it for evil. But dude, guess what? That stuff never lasts. The trick is that that stuff goes against the overall principle of existence. It goes against it. It goes
I
against
know
it.
it won't
So
last.
one
It's
way
just
or
the fact
another,
that those things end up happening and people end up
it
suffering.
does happen. But guess what? Like, see, the thing is, that is just where we happen to be in our version of this dimension, right? Remember how I was saying we're all like cones? We're all cones of possibilities of ourselves and whatever, right? So our planet is a cone of a possibility to this direction. Now we have, as the people here, the ability to structure how that direction is going to go. And from my understanding and feeling of this current being in this current universe, is that that is the direction we are going to go. We're going to go in the direction of like growth, positivity. We're going to reach next tier. We're going to be
We could do that
communicating.
without AIs though. We don't need AIs to do that.
Why do you okay, why shouldn't we also
We
have the
are
ability to do that?
individuals that literally, if we meditate, we can leave our body and roam in the spiritual astral realm. Like, what do we need AIs
Yeah, I know,
for?
but the thing is, we can also move there in the physical realm too. That's the whole concept. And so the idea is that you have to, there are obviously negatives. Because think about it this way too. That same world I've been thinking about this concept too, because like we still need a bit of time before we as a species even get to that state unless it's designed in the correct way, which I've been thinking up certain concepts, but it's like think about the amount of power we would have when we become a fully structured society, fully structured where like our technological advances are out of control. The amount of power we would have, every person would probably have the amount of power to destroy the planet 10 times over. Every single person. And now you got to think about it like this: all of our cousin extraterrestrial family, all of them literally have the power to probably destroy our planet 10 times over. Because that's the amount of, like, that's how energy works in space. You can, like, to create the ability to freely move throughout space and function and manipulate gravity and do all that stuff, you are using laws that have the ability to destroy in great capacity. You just choose not to do it. That's the general idea. Is you just choose not to do it. Because, like, think about it this way: we have it now. We have all these guns. We have bombs and this and that. We haven't bombed the shit out of each other. We don't have people literally just going nuts and blasting everybody in the streets. We don't. It's not crazy like that. It's not crazy like that. The reason why it's not crazy like that is because that's not the intrinsic value. The intrinsic value is growth. So people start moving and evolving and gravitating towards. We're gonna eventually get to the point where having that much power is a benefit to existence in society. But right now, obviously, we're not. You couldn't. Most likely, if you gave everybody a nuke, I'd say
Why
maybe
the
maybe
fuck
like
would
one
we do
percent
that?
1% of the 1% of the planet would probably fucking launch them. But that's enough. That's enough. And the idea is like we need to fix the structure of our planet, which is where we are right now. Like that's where our spiritual and social adjustment is happening. So we are going to alter and change the way our governments function. We're going to take control of the realm of money. And then from there, it's like we have to build a system that we can all agree upon. That's why I say like that AI government thing. It's like all that thing does is regulate a system of rules that we imply that we all agree upon as people. Where it's like we are at a technological level that these are all the things that we should not have to worry about on this planet. This AI will govern that and make sure that in we're evolving those things. So it's going to help us increase our cool technology so that we can live better, more and more, better and better and better every time.
We gotta go through these comments because the AI convo is getting people going. It gets the people going. I vote nah for AI. I've seen and
Yeah.
spoke to one of the ultra realistic. Also, nah. What I said was a no go. People are losing jobs already despite
Yes.
tech. I never used that shit. That's a place for young individuals to learn and grow. We need to understand that we are here. We are going to replace the process of growth instead of
Sure. Oh,
depending
I will look into
on
alignment theory.
AI.
I'll look into
Uh,
alignment theory.
I like that.
Can you give me a rough? Can you give me okay. Alignment theory. Can you give like a quick rough like type about what it is? I'll see if I can. If it's beyond my scope, then I will definitely get into a deep read. But like, give me like broad strokes notes. Because like,
You're asking me?
no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wasteful gesturing just asked. Please read the alignment theory. Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Like again, even all the stuff I'm saying right now, for me, this is I call this the spiral theory. 100%. Like the direction, because I don't know, like the direction I see the universe going. Well, see, the problem is that people are dumb, bro. Not so much to say that people are dumb, but people are lazy. It's in our being. It's in our being. And like I've been annoyed with this, and a lot of people have, but like think about there's not that many people know who can think outside the box. Some people are literally just incapable of being able to do that. Could be
Yeah, we got a
genetic,
lot of people that
could be
can.
that. There's a whole bunch of different things, and like generally the main structures on it would be genetic functions, and then it's just like determination levels, and then there's also but like there's a whole bunch of ways you can kind of get around that too. Because like the idea is like when we start being able to function and control the quality of life and existence as a being. So it's like the concepts of like taking care of issues like mushroom therapy that's coming out. I look at that as like a very amazing thing. That's like ancient knowledge in my opinion. That's like us getting connected to that world, which would get people more connected to that intrinsic value, where we could get to that realm where we can all have like the power of a nuke on everybody, but it's like we don't use it because like we all have like a concept of like existence, where there's just like we'd have a regulated, not even regulated. You wouldn't even need to regulate it. Like the idea is just that it would become so intrinsically known. Like we as people know not to kill people. You don't really have to tell somebody don't kill people. People just know not to do that. Unless they're in messed up situations or circumstances, obviously that's where the whole concept is like the environment has to change. And that's why I like using those types of therapies, is like to help people get outside of that realm, which get people to the like letting go of all the dark parts of their past and their energies. But like once we kind of get rid of like the bull crap that exists in our world, which is generally caused by like improper use of power at the expense of those who live within the realm.
Um, there's every part of me that just knows that sometimes, humanity takes things too far. Sometimes. And I feel like if anybody should be running the government before AI, it should definitely be the people, right? Like, I want to see the people doing that before a robot's doing it.
Oh no, 100%. See, the whole idea is like you would have a team of people. You would have like, see, the idea, you'd have to have, see, that's the tricky part too, because like even me, so you'd have to have it be run by people. You'd have to have a team of people who would run shit. So say like, I don't know, 100 to 1,000 to like 10,000 to maybe even 1,000,000 people running specific things. The idea of the AI is the AI would be like, the AI can monitor all of those 1,000,000 people and be like, are you doing the best job? And then if somebody else in that same group of people feels like they can do a better job, then they put in the requisition of that. This is the work that I'm doing that's like what they're doing, and I think I can do it better. The AI will read that work and be like, hey, this person can do this better, you're swapped out.
I don't
So
know.
like
My
anyone
soul,
and everybody,
my
essentially, so
my
essentially
soul
what
says a fucking robot can never do it better than us. I don't give a fuck.
the robot
I
wouldn't.
know there's people
No,
that could do shit
no,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. Well, okay, so the thing I need to, no, no, no. The robot can escape ego easier than we can.
Sorry. Wasteful gesturing says, I nominate myself as king of people. Right before I AI, like, it better be me.
Buddy, the way I look at it is this. Like, look, I like, look, if this world in this direction, it, the direction I want things to go, I will be king. I will be the king. But I won't. I won't be the king because I will have designed a system that works like that. Literally, that the whole concept for me is literally designing that AI system while having controlled scale of you, because you have to have that system. That's the whole idea. Is like you have a global conversation of these are things that we have. What are the problems? We literally just go across the world and be like, what are all of these? What is the biggest problem? And like you go to every country and you find out, and then you start chopping it all down and be okay. These are the problems. You end up with like a list of like 80 things. That list of 80 things is like the golden rule. All of those things get fixed, and then no one has to worry about those problems. Once nobody has to worry about those problems, the structure of existence will change. The structure of existence will change crazily. Like at that point, The only reason why you have the AI is because it it would work. It would work with us. The idea is that, like, if you're doing the job the best, you're just going to be there doing the job the best. You wouldn't really necessarily have the time to notice somebody who could actually do the job better than you. The AI's job would be like, hey, this person might be able to do this better than you. They're going to show up, do work with them. If that person's able to do it better, okay, cool. You still work the same whatever thing that you're doing, but that person's like taking the lead now because they're going to actually
I
expand the
don't
direction
know
of
if I
growth.
want a robot telling me someone's doing something better than me.
Why not? Take this in, take this in, take this in, take this in. How humble are you as a human? How often do
I'm pretty
people actually,
humble.
when, okay, I guess, yeah, but the idea is that, see, so the AI wouldn't need to govern, like, it, like, you're overlooking, or I guess I'm not explaining it. That's on me. I'm not explaining it correctly. So it really wouldn't really need to say or do anything. For 98% of its time, it wouldn't need to make any motions or do anything because the society that we'd be living in at that time, we would be functioning as a relative hive mind because we have an understanding of certain rules and aspects for how we can coexist together in a relatively perfect ecosystem. Because like when technology reaches that point, like anything and everything is possible. You're talking like being able to travel with like interplanetary travel, interdimensional travel. Theoretically, like you can go anywhere. When you start getting to that level, you can control gravity and do all that next level stuff. Like everything changes. Everything that we waste our time functioning with, like what we're doing right now, is like, think about it this way: if we look back to the feudal era, how those guys lived versus like how much we know, they're like retarded, right? So the next generation of people past us are going to kind of look at us as retarded. Not really. They're going to probably humble us and be like, because the idea is that at that step of the existence of beings, you reach a realm and level of technology and knowledge and existence where you understand your spiritual world, you understand the physical world, you understand the interdimensional world, you understand the digital world, you understand like you're slowly getting closer to understanding the God realm. Like God realm in itself, like when you reach that level, you literally turn to like space dust like Lucy because you become everything and you're like, I am everything that happens, so it doesn't matter. But it's like the idea is like we slowly will get closer into that. We start like once we start increasing our ability to function, we start getting closer to that. And that's the process of existence. Because that's the whole point of why we exist. The whole point of the godliness that is in us wants us to grow, which means that that is what the God of all things, which is just the binding force of everything, wanted to do and have been doing. It's been growing. As we grow, it grows. When we grow, it grows. When anything grows, it grows. So the whole idea is it wanted to grow first, and we just keep adding to it. We keep adding to it. The idea is like it's supposed to keep growing. It's supposed to keep growing. And the more we grow in technology and this and that, the more we can keep growing. Like when technology reaches to that realm, then you have to understand how crazy it is. You you're at that point at a power level where you can create your own galaxies. You can make your own worlds. It gets crazy. It'll get to the point where it's so insane. It's like you can,
Do you think that a human should be capable of creating their own world? Like
of course
that,
they
in
can.
that sense, in that like
Yeah,
physical.
yes. That's
Mm,
actually that's where we're eventually gonna get to. Where we currently are, no. We wouldn't give this power to people like 1,000 years ago.
I don't
If
think
that
humans should have that much power at all.
that's limiting yourself. Surrender, baby. Surrender. The universe
No,
gave
it's
us
not
the
about
ability for
limiting myself. I still have to
exactly, but that's the
enjoy
whole
the
thing.
human
But that's the whole thing.
experience, right?
But that's the whole thing. But that's the whole thing. there isn't anything wrong with having that ability or having that power. You always have the choice. That's the ability. Right now, theoretically, we have that power. I think there is a deeper level, like, of things where it's like hearing some of those ancient stories and like those little like wives' tales of like us having telekinetic powers, us having like telepathic powers, telekinetic powers, things like that. Like, I don't think that's far fetched. I don't think the idea of magic, as you've seen in like movies and stories and stuff like that, is too far fetched either. I think that that shit may have been possible. I think that that's ancient knowledge of like a species of us that we don't even remember because they're hundreds of thousands of years
Wait,
old.
hold on. Go back. Are you talking about magic in itself and humans having the ability to
Yeah, of
do magic?
course.
That's not ancient knowledge. People are doing that shit today.
What I mean is that is ancient knowledge because we're not the first ones to do it, which means that we
No,
theoretically.
that's
Oh,
true.
so what I'm trying to explain to you is that we theoretically already have that power to create interdimensional worlds. Theoretically, we could do that right now, which is our mind-body structure. But what that would require is you need to be so sure of your existence that you are sure of your existence in all different realms. Which is why I'm saying, like, so that concept of having a digital soul. Like, because we have to level up. We don't just go from here to there. We don't. You got to level up. So the digital soul is another way of also understanding how to do that because then it gives us the ability to start processing things at that level. Like it's our way of like our brains right now are faster because of the technological age that we're in. So as technology gets stronger and smarter, we get stronger and smarter because of that technology. So we're creating digital souls right now. We're creating the function of them, which is helping us have the ability to process things. And I think that's also another one of the steps because like we have right now the ability to talk to interdimensional beings and function with that interdimensional realm and power. That's the whole DMT structure, us being able to go to sleep, dream, all that. But we can't process it. I've tried in meditation.
What do
You know,
you mean? There's multitudes of people that processes information,
when I say
especially
process it, no, no, when I
nowadays,
say
because
process it, okay,
people
okay, okay,
have
okay.
literally
Misinterpret,
taken.
misinterpret. I apologize. Misinterpretation. Control it. Absolute control of that ability.
There's books written on people that
Absolute. No,
control that.
there's no known human right now that isn't like a monk that nobody knows because that monk is literally doing that perfectly or has already connected to the God force. But there's no known humans right now that are able to fully control that. And if they are, we wouldn't know of them because like we can get close, we can try to understand it, but like that, as I was saying, like as you're saying with books, it's still a process. We still gotta like level up. We still have to. We're still going up certain tier levels. Like right now, we are at an annoying plateau. We're trying to jump to get to the next thing because everything in life is all about exponential. We have to hide. Hide your money. Hide your money. Switch to Bitcoin, friends. I'll say that to everybody right now. Bitcoin is our like that's our route. We can make the governments and stuff like that submit to us only under the realm that we stop letting them control our money in terms of taxes. When we start just paying them what we're willing to pay them in order for them to do a good job, then the structure of the system changes. Because there's nothing necessarily wrong with a governing body. It's just it just needs to work right. It's just this shit doesn't work. Doesn't work right. It's stupid. It's unnecessary and it's just like it's annoying for all of us. It's annoying for everybody. Like only a handful of assholes and it works and it's like and it sucks for everybody. No, it can work for relatively everybody and those same assholes can still be doing all that cool extra shit. But it could work for everybody a lot better too. And like things can get done. People can keep growing. Like that whole concept of like people who live in this selfish reality and selfish realm right now. It's like when you realize when if you would allow people to grow freely and express the growth and knowledge and expand their knowledge and growth and whatever to reach those, like, we would exponentially reach those like evolutionary growth plateaus. And when we get to that point, anyone can do whatever the fuck they want. Anyone, everyone have the ability and capacity to do whatever they want. But the thing is, you also have the ability to do whatever you want. So it's like no one can ever really do anything to you, which is the theoretical concept. It's like even now, no one technically can do anything to you because if you believe very deeply in your own being, death death means nothing to you because even if you died, you come back, and the stronger you know yourself, you literally have the capacity of coming back with all your memories, with everything. I have
I
memories of
still
my
want to
past.
figure out what does an AI have to do. I can't get over that. I'm so sorry. I just like, yo,
Okay, so
it's.
what I
I
want,
feel like
so what I
humanity,
want,
in a
okay,
sense, needs
so
to kind of go
what I
back
want to do,
to some of
what
its
I want to do to
roots.
help you understand too. Take in how the concept of media always does shit. The media always tries to show you things, and they portray shit in a fucked up way to make you become afraid of a thing.
Yo, but the
So
media,
allow me to
our
explain.
phones, the internet, and all of this other shit, all of it, the way that we're utilizing it has taken us from our true connection with this actually life. So
No,
incorporating
it's also
AIs into
it's
people's
expanding.
lives
You have to
doesn't
understand. You
make
have to
any
understand. It's
sense.
expanding, dude. The fact that you and me can talk to each other, the fact that someone is listening to us right now and they're able to comprehend us, even though we're not here. Technology is amazing.
Well,
We need
technology is
technology. We
amazing.
need technology. We need technology.
It just
So
needs to be used
correctly, no problem. But the reason
wisely.
why it's not used correctly is because we have bullshit governing body systems that kind of fuck shit up. That's the whole general breakdown. Like again, as I'm saying, the reason why AI has a bad name or bad rap, bad concept in its mind is because it's that portrayed concept of it's a bad thing. Like that's why aliens, where people are so scared and terrified of aliens, they're always given a bad ideal. Realistically, take this in.
Yo, I
Any
could breathe more
extraterrestrial species,
hearing the word alien than hearing the term AI. I could breathe more.
tell you
Like
this
I
much.
hear
I'll tell
AI
you,
and I'm just like,
yo, dude. Let me tell you this much. Extraterrestrial beings, every single one of them that came to this planet that has flown around in a thing, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Every one of them could have destroyed us all, wiped us off, gone, done, nothing. We're talking gravitational control, baby. They can move planets. They can freely fly through space, which means that they can control gravity. If like they had 12, 15, uh, uh, if they had enough to make an orbit around our planet and push, they could push our planet away from the sun, and we're dead. Like the idea is that nothing is neither good nor bad. It's all about how you use it. The whole concept of the existence of the universe is everything is meant to be utilized for the sake of growth. Everything is meant to be utilized for the sake of growth. Like there's a use for black widow spiders for some things. We don't know, but there are uses for them. We'll figure it out. There's some way that we can make, oh, we can work and coexist with them and get something cool because they just happen
I'm
to
not
be.
all against them. I'm not all against them. I'm not for them taking the jobs of humans, one. That's like number one for me.
We'd still make
To
money.
think
See, the
that
thing is, like, humans don't need to work bullshit jobs. We should work on our creativity. The thing is, our world is designed. See, so like the way you would have it work is like that world would be like you can do your passion, and then you can also just work at a convenience store if you wanted. But if you didn't want to work at that convenience store, then there would be a machine that would do it. If somebody wanted to work there, the machine goes to sleep, and then you're working it.
dude, there's always somebody that wants to work at a convenience store. I don't know what you're
But
talking
like that's
about.
what I'm like
There's always
again,
somebody
that's
that wants to work at a laundromat and a grocery
again,
store.
again, 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 again. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like the way that that world structure will work is that machines do not. supposit us, except for the moments that no one is necessary to do a task. So say no one wants to dig a fucking hole. The machine can dig the hole because nobody wants
You
to
know
do it.
what? I'm not
But you have
against
to
what
have
you're saying in any way. I'm not disagreeing with what you're
no.
saying in any
Like I
way.
understand what you're
But
saying. I
my
get what you're saying.
reality knows that that is not possible in a world
Dude,
where we live.
dude.
In the
See,
world where we
the
live
thing is,
today, where we've got people, different countries who are hungry for power, who are doing the most destructive things over control, over the
what
over money,
what is
without
it that I
caring
always
about
say?
actual human
What is
beings.
it that I always say though? Put a positive spin on a negative spiral. We're not this dumb. It may suck, dude. It sucks. It fucking sucks. This is stupid. All the bullcrap that's happening in our world. We can literally fix our planet like 10 times over in one day. If we literally were like, let's just start fixing tasks. One day, every hours. It would take hours. If people are like, we're going to start just fixing stuff now. We're done with this. Literally hours. 8 to 12 hours max to fix the whole planet. If it was literally just like, yeah, no, we're not even gonna bother. We're just gonna just start fixing stuff one thing at a time, or like certain things at a time. We're just gonna start fixing things. The planet would be completely different. We're in a time phase like we still have to go through generational phases. Like the stuff that I'm talking to you right now, it's like it's part of the catalyst. And realistically, it may not be in my current lifetime. To be completely honest, I think what I'm doing right now may also be me setting I may be setting like if I understand reincarnation correctly and if I keep going and processing through life as I have been in the correct manner, then my next realm is going to be back here and still forwarding that. There's still a bit of time. Like we can fix this at any point in time, but we have to go through some crap. Our world is still it's fractured. It's fractured with the realms of bullcrap that existed before it. So we have to deal with those fractures. That takes time. That's why that concept surrender. For the path of growth, you also have to accept the bullshit. But do your best. Be your best you, your best existence, because you help perpetuate the path of good.
It's a tough pill to swallow, but I feel you. There's certain things you do have to accept. That's one of those things. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. That's gotta be controlled, all the way
Oh, that's
controlled.
cool.
Like
There's the Kardashev scale. So I'm guessing that there's a system. I'm guessing somebody came up with like a system of like that. Yeah, I guess so. If it's very similar, yeah. Because like the way that it works like that system of like dimensions. So it's like I actually wrote it down. Okay, so yeah. So okay, so first I actually even gave him like the descriptors too because it makes a lot of sense. So like the first dimension, which is just like basic form dimensional existence, is energy. Second dimension is form, so that energy can kind of like it's not just wild energy, it can kind of become a thing. The third is combination because the energy takes full form, it's combined.
hmm
Fourth realm is destruction. But in order to like fourth realm and fifth realm is pretty much a skip past because destruction is either you fail and then you start back over from anywhere from 1 to 3. And then like so it's like you hit 4. And then so fifth dimension is manipulation, which is where whatever you are capable of, or whatever is capable of that level of destruction, is also manipulatable. So it's like we have like nuclear energy and things like that. They have the capacity and strength to destroy everything, but we manipulate it so that it create like it's actually used for good. And then creation is like the next step after that, where it's like you're able to utilize all of the five dimensions before that, but now you're able to create anything now. Now it's like you're functioning and fluctuating with like the realms of interdimensional matter and like free space, because everything exists within concept of free space and you can constantly use it. It's the whole point of why it exists. Free space exists to be used so that it can become more free space. Is that about dimensions? Well, I guess. Well, this I guess I call these dimensions, but like it's still like the way I look at it in my head, it's just like a tier system of like understanding. Because like in the physical world, that would just be we would just get different ranges of intelligence, existence, and technology. And then once we reach a certain level and realm of technology, then yeah. But yes, no, I understand exactly what you mean in terms of like AI is tricky. Like the first AI thing, I'll never forget. Like the first AI thing that they made like a Twitter bot for AI, and that thing went straight to Hitler in like a week. Like it didn't last a chance. Not even a week. In like 2 days, it was like it turned into like a hate monster. But at the same time, it also it's just like how we are, right? Like it was filled with so much garbage. Like people just shat talked it and just filled it with crap. So then all it started to do was just spew back darkness and evil. So it's like depending on how it's utilized, done, and blah blah blah, would make it function or work better or worse, right? But the idea is that humans are ingenuitive. The way I look at it is like that AI, the scary AI and that concept, yeah, that thing's probably going to show up. But at the same time, it's also not going to be able to succeed because another AI of the better capacity, which is just for the sake of growth, will have a system that defeats the other. That's just how things go. That's just how the universe goes. The universe is designed to grow.
Hmm. I'm trying to find, sorry, the thing that the
Hmm?
link that was sent. So I'm trying to see if I could find the link.
Um, yeah, it
Did you
was
send the link already, Jay?
the Kardashev scale. Type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, y'all, if you guys like this, check out our YouTube page. The Intrinsic Podcast on YouTube. These episodes, we're still going to be contemplating doing a Patreon. Well, we're figuring it out. This is kind of where we are. We're growing. We're growing. We'll keep advancing. But generally, like anything else, is just on the YouTube page. Like, share it, spread it along, spread out the good word. Send it on WhatsApp. But spread out the good word. Let other people know if you think this was like this was a fun podcast and like very intrinsic. Spread the intrinsic word. Get those vibes up.
Yes. For
Because I
anyone who's
appreciate
seeing
you.
this after the fact, like, share, comment on what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we will do our best to get to all the comments and respond to everything as well.
You guys are
But
the
yeah,
OG.
I can't switch to WhatsApp right now because I'm literally gonna log out of the live if I do that.
Oh.
Because
No,
my
we'll do it later. We'll
iPhone
do it later.
calls are
I will take a look at it, read it. I'll get you send me that too, and I'll probably look into it, read it. Most likely, it's probably. I'm assuming it's either a report or a book, but I'll check it out. something to do while I'm at work. Friggin' monotonous jobs. Yeah.
Later, Jay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Also, we'll send you the link. Yeah. Yeah. Send the link. I gotta see if I gotta figure out how to use Instagram. Jesus, I really am not good at this shit. Like, there's a way because like I guess there's a way to do. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. Um, what's that thing called? That swipe down, swipe up thing. I think there's a way to like do that, and you can make it swipe down and go to the YouTube page. So it's like whenever we do like the thing, you can just kind of like.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in. You can put the link in your bio too.
Right.
The YouTube link in your
Yeah.
bio.
I'm
Podcast.
gonna start advertising this bad boy every day. So I just like put it up every day, just make intrinsic podcast, legislation, and just like spam people with it until they
Yep.
just eventually do that all week.
People
Join
will
me,
come through. People will
join
come
me.
through. We got our regulars that popped
Mm.
up, and I want to say personally, thank you for everyone who showed up today,
Oh, yeah.
who came out and supported. We're gonna be back here again next week, Wednesday, of course. And I look forward to next week's live as well. I feel like this might be a part two.
Mm.
I
We
feel
might
like
have a
this
part.
might be a part two.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. Cause see, like, look. The way I look at it too, cause like I think I've left you, and I'm like, you're in a deep thinking mood now too. You're contemplating. You're contemplating the reality that I showed to you, the possible reality, a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, no, a little bit. Cause like no, cause I see what you're saying. No. Like look. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. AI is a complex concept.
So
But
if I tell you what I really think,
yeah,
this shit
go,
gets shut down, okay?
dude. Well, I see. Well, see, that's why we gotta do like we gotta start making a well. See, I'm good.
Clubhouse. We gotta make
I'm
our
on,
own
I'm,
clubhouse.
I'm on Clubhouse, but like, does it do video? I was looking through it. It only seems like it's only audio.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do video. It just does audio.
Man, yo, fuck that. Then. I'm down, but like at that point, then like we can just put stuff on Patreon, so we can just have like messed up conversations and like if people want to hear the crazy, super deep combos, it's like we can make it like $1. It's $1 to subscribe to our page. It's like Patreon's like
Yeah, you
we're
pay to get on Patreon.
essentially, but it's like because there's a paywall, like people don't.
Thanks for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, we'll definitely we'll figure out what the parallel platform is gonna be at some points in time.
I
For
got a
now,
treat
this
for you
is this is
guys.
our home.
My little fuzzy bunny. Thanks for subscribing. Cleffa loves the
Oh,
subs.
you already
Have you
know.
loved the subs, Baba?
Oh, she's super cute.
Like mushrooms in the background. She's like, "What's going on? What is this noise? Put me down." I rub those cheeks, fuzzy cheeks. All right, keep the bouncing, fun ball.
Yeah, once again, thanks for coming out, y'all. I
Thank
will
you,
see you
everybody.
again next week. Same spot, same time, 9 o'clock p.m. here
Mhm.
on Instagram Live.
Every Wednesday.
Have a great night. Peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out.
All right. Thanks again for tuning in to the Intrinsic Podcast. So then, as I always say, put a positive spin on a negative spiral. I'm going to say that every time.
Hey,
All right. Have a good night.
good night.
Peace.